Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 29, Bhakti Yoga, text number 5 onwards. So Uddhavji is asking these questions to Krishna. Tam tva khilatma daiteshwar mashritanam sarvarthadam swakrit vidvisrijet kono kova bhajet kim api vismriteyanubhutya kimva bhavenna tavpad rajo jushamna. Who then could dare reject you, the very soul, the most dear object of worship, and the supreme Lord of all? Who give all possible perfections to the devotees who take shelter of you, who could be so ungrateful, knowing the benefits you bestow? Who would reject you and accept something for the sake of material enjoyment, which simply leads to forgetfulness of you? And what lack is there for us who are engaged in the service of the dust of your lotus feet? Beautiful prayers. As stated in the Naraniya of the Moksha Dharma in Sri Mahabharata, Yavai sadhana sampatti purushartha chatushtaya taya vina tadapanoti naro narayana ashraya. Whatever among the 4 goals of human life can be achieved by various spiritual practices is automatically achieved without such endeavors by the person who has taken shelter of Lord Narayan, the refuge of all persons. Thus, a Krishna-conscious person knows that he will obtain all perfection of life simply by surrendering to the devotional service of Lord Krishna. This is the highest stage of yoga, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. So, whatever among the 4 goals, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, automatically achieved by taking shelter of Lord Narayan. Not just this, he gets much more than this. So who would not take shelter of lotus feet of Krishna? Navo payanti apachittim kavayastavesh brahma yushapi kritam uddhamudah smaranta yontar bahistanu bhritam shubham vidhunvanna acharya chaitya vapusha swagatim yanakti. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in 2 features, externally as Acharya and internally as the Super Soul, to deliver the embodied living beings by directing him how to come to you. So internally he acts as Super Soul. He is a Super Soul. And outwardly he acts as Acharya to guide. Guide this living entity who has some desire or who has got some mercy to how to come to you. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, Lord Krishna is 10 million times more dear to a devotee than life itself. That's a big statement. And according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, even by rendering devotional service for the total duration of 1,000 universal creations, a devotee cannot repay the debt he feels to the Lord for having awarded him loving service to the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord appears within the heart as a super soul and externally both as a spiritual master and his literary incarnation, the supreme Vedic knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. To do what? To guide this conditioned living soul, living entity back home, back to Godhead. Shri Shukvacha, iti uddhavenati anurakta chetasa, prishto jagat kridanaka swashakti grihita murti traya ishvareshvara jagadasa prema manohar smita. Shukdev Goswami said, thus questioned by the most affectionate Uddhav, Lord Krishna, the supreme controller of all controllers, who takes the entire universe as his plaything and assumes the three forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, began to reply, lovingly displaying his all-attractive smile. See, here clearly said, he assumes the three forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So it's not like Krishna comes from Lord Vishnu. Vishnu comes from Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Hantate Katheshyami Mam Dharman Sumangalan Yan Shraddhya Charan Martyo Mrityum Jayati Durjayam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I shall describe to you the principles of devotion to me, by executing which a mortal human being will conquer unconquerable death. Although he is a mortal human being, but he can conquer the unconquerable death. Kuryat sarvani karmani madartham janakaya smaran mayarpit manaschitto madharmatma manoratihi. Always remembering me, one should perform all his duties for me without becoming impetuous. With mind and intelligence offered to me, one should fix his mind in attraction to my devotional service. So simple, again and again, every scripture talks about attain mind and attraction to my devotional service. Just think of me. Perform all duties. Just think of me. The words Mad Dharmatma Manorati means that all of one's love and affection should be devoted to pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not indicated here that one should try to relish selfish satisfaction in devotional service, but rather that one should be attracted to the Lord's own satisfaction, which one achieves by faithfully executing the order of a bona fide spiritual master, coming in disciplic succession from Lord Krishna himself. Attachment to one's own satisfaction, even within devotion service, is materialistic. Whereas attachment to the satisfaction of the Lord is pure spiritual emotion. So that's all one has to do. Find out what is going to please Krishna and just do it. That's devotion service. Deshan punyana shrayata madbhakta sadhubhi shritan devasur manaksheshu madbhakta charitani cha. One should take shelter of holy places where my saintly devotees reside, and one should be guided by the exemplary activities of my devotees, who appear among the demigods, demons, and human beings. Narad Muni is one of the great devotees of the Lord who appeared among the demigods. Prahlad Maharaj appeared among the demons, and many of the great devotees, such as Ambarish Maharaj and the Pandavas, appeared among human beings. One should take shelter of the devotees' exemplary activities and also the holy places where devotees reside. Thus one will remain safe on the path of devotional service. So one should be guided by the exemplary activities of my devotees. So not that we can imitate them. We cannot imitate Narad Muni or Prahlad Maharaj or Ambarish Maharaj or the Pandavas, but we can be guided. We can take them as our ideals and carry on our devotion service. Prithak satrena vamayam parva yatra mahotsavam karyed gita nrityadhyar Maharaj Vibhutibhi. Either alone or in public gatherings with singing, dancing, and other exhibitions of royal opulence, one should arrange to celebrate those holy days, ceremonies, and festivals set aside especially for my worship. So Prabhupada has given us the whole calendar. So today, Lord Nityanand Appearance Day, or in India it is, I think, Varaha Dwadashi right now. So whatever the day it is, just enjoy the festivities, celebrate those days. Mamev sarva bhuteshu bahirantarapavrtam ikshetatmani chatmanam yatha kammalashaya. And going back to the celebration of those festivals, there's a bhajan that says that these days, Bhakti Janani, These special days when we perform, when we celebrate those days, they are bhakti janani. They give rise to bhakti in our heart. Me or whatever bhakti is there, it increases. Madhav Tithi Bhakti Janani. Mame sarvabhuteshu bahirantara pavritam. Ikshetatmani chatmanam yatha khamam malashayam. With a pure heart, one should see me, the Supreme Soul, within all beings and also within oneself. To be both unblemished by anything, material and also present everywhere, both externally and internally, just like the omnipresent sky. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Lord has spoken the present words to attract those who are inclined towards philosophical speculation about the absolute truth. Such transcendental scholars searching for the ultimate unity will be attracted by the Lord's manifestation described here, because they want to see impersonal feature. Okay, Supreme Lord says, I'm within every being and also within oneself, and I'm present everywhere. So one should be able to see. Means also one who knows or one who is serving. Devotees go beyond just knowing, they serve the Bhagwan feature of the Lord. So means they already know the Paramatma feature and the Brahma feature of the Lord. They already know that. But they serve Bhagwan feature. That is a feature that can be served with love and devotion. Iti sarvani bhutani madbhaven mahadyute sabhajayan madhyamano jnanam kevalam ashvita brahmane pukka sestene brahmane arke sulinkake akrure krurake chaiva samdrik pandito mataha. O brilliant Uddhava, one who thus views all living entities with the idea that I am present within each of them, and who, by taking shelter of this divine knowledge, offers due respect to everyone, is considered actually wise. Such a man sees equally the Brahman and the outcast, the thief and the charitable promoter of Brahminical culture, the sun and the tiny sparks of fire, the gentle and the cruel. So a series of opposites is set forth here, namely the high-class Brahman and the low-class Abharajak, the thief who steals from respectable persons and the respecter of Brahminical culture, who gives charity to the Brahmins, the all-powerful sun and the insignificant spark, and finally the kind and the cruel. So ordinarily, the ability to distinguish between such opposite qualifies one as intelligent. How then can the Lord state that ignoring such obvious differences establish one as a wise man? The answer is given by the words Madbhavena. A wise person sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead within everything. Therefore, although externally perceiving and dealing with the varieties of material situations, a wise man is more impressed by and concerned with the overwhelming unity of all existence, which is based on the presence of the Supreme Lord within everything. As explained here, truly wise person is not limited to superficial material discrimination. So truly Vidya Vinay Sampanne, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastine. But at the same time, we see the soul and the super soul within everybody. But at the same time, we have to see the consciousness of a person and how to deal with it accordingly. Just because soul and super soul is within a person or within an animal doesn't mean we're gonna bring a snake home or we're gonna bring a tiger home. No. Nareshu bhikshanam madbhavam punso bhavyato achirat spardha suya tiraskara sahankara viyantihi. For him who constantly meditates upon my presence within all persons, the bad tendencies of rivalry, envy, and abusiveness, along with false ego, are very quickly destroyed. So we conditioned souls tend to feel rivalry towards our equals, envy towards our superiors, and the desire to belittle our subordinates. These contaminated propensities, along with the very basic false ego, can be quickly vanquished by meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead within every living being. Yes, that way, yes, we should treat everybody equally. Or, in fact, those who are Mahabhagavas, they treat everybody better than themselves. They say everybody else is engaged in service of Krishna except me, even though whatever the others are doing. Visrijyasmai mana svam drasham vridam chadahiki praname dandavadbhuma ashva chandal gokharam. Disregarding the ridicule of one's companions, one should give up the barley conception and its accompanying embarrassment. One should offer obeisances before all, even the dogs, outcasts, cows and asses falling flat upon the ground like a rod. One should practice seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead within all creatures. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised all devotees to consider themselves lower than a blade of grass and to be more tolerant than a tree. In such a humble position, one will not be disturbed in the prosecution of pure devotional service to the Lord. A devotee does not foolishly think that a cow or an ass is God, but rather the devotee sees the Supreme Lord within all creatures, and on this higher spiritual plane, he does not discriminate. Obviously, it's a very, very high position. One should offer obeisances before all, even the dogs, outcasts, cows, and asses. Yavat sarveshu bhuteshu madbhavo no pajayate tavadevam upasita vang mana kaya vrittibhi. Until one has fully developed the ability to see me within all living beings, one must continue to worship me by this process with the activities of his speech, mind, and body. Until one fully realizes the Supreme Lord within all beings, he should continue the process of offering obeisances to all creatures. Although one may not be able to actually fall on the ground before all creatures, at least within his mind or by his words, one should offer respect to all living beings. This will accelerate the devotee's self-realization. So until one has fully developed the ability to see me, so there is this very popular doha of Kabir, I think, no? Man ka pher le, man ka hoye, something like that. So that's what many times people criticize us. Oh, your mind has not changed. What's the point? And you keep on chanting on your beads. You're just making a show of your devotion service. You're wearing your religion on your sleeves, something like that. They always criticize. No, but this is the process. Here Krishna says, until one has fully developed the ability to see me within all living beings. Okay, we don't see that right now. At least I don't. But one must continue to worship me by this process with the activities of his speech, mind, and body. So slowly, we will get purified. This is the process. It's not like all of a sudden we'll wake up one morning and okay, I'm purified. I'm a pure soul. I'm a Mahabharata. And now I can see Krishna within all living beings. Not going to happen. We have to grow gradually. And this is the process. Sarvam brahmatmakam tasya vidyayatma manishaya paripashyan uparamet sarvato mukta sanchaya. By such transcendental knowledge of the all-pervading personality of Godhead, one is able to see the absolute truth everywhere. Freed thus from all doubt, one gives up fruitive activities. So yes, knowledge is important, but at the same time, we do our services, body, mind, and words. And then slowly, one will be able to see the absolute truth everywhere. Ayam hi sarva kalpanam sadri chino mato mama madbhava sarva bhuteshu Mano Vak Kaya Vritti. Indeed, I consider this process, using one's mind, words, and bodily functions for realizing me within all living beings, to be the best possible method of spiritual enlightenment. So I consider this process, using one's mind, words, and body, or if we just change the sequence, body, mind, and words, means BMW, easy to remember. So we all have BMW, that we have to use it in service of Krishna as much as possible, whatever we can, body, mind, words, wherever we can do, just to use it in service of Krishna. Nahi angopakrame dvanso madharmasyodhvakmanvapi maya vyavasita asamyam nirgun tvad anashishaha. My dear Uddhav, because I have personally established it, this process of devotion service unto me is transcendental and free from any material motivation. Certainly a devotee never suffers even the slightest loss by adopting this process, not even a slightest loss. All the great sages and authorities have established various methods of human progress. The Supreme Lord himself has introduced a system of Bhakti Yoga, wherein one directly takes shelter of the Lord in loving service. One who serves the Lord without personal motivation can never be defeated in his progress and will certainly go back to Godhead in the near future. And there is not a slightest loss. There's even Bhagavad Gita, it says, anyone who has taken up this yoga process, not a slightest loss. Yo yo mayi pare dharma kalpyate nishvalaya chet tadayaso nirarthasya ayadere sattama. O Uddhav, greatest of saints, in a dangerous situation, an ordinary person cries, becomes fearful, and laments. Although such useless emotions do not change the situation. But activities offered to me without personal motivation, even if they're externally useless, amount to the actual process of religion. So even the most insignificant activity, when offered to the Supreme Lord without personal desire, can elevate one to the perfection of human life. Actually, Lord Krishna always protects and maintains his devotee. But if a devotee cries to the Lord for protection or maintenance, desiring to continue his devotion service unimpeded, Lord Krishna accepts such apparently unnecessary appeals to be the highest religious process. So many times, devotees comment or other people criticize. That doesn't your Lord know that you need this, or he needs to protect you? Why you have to call out for this? Krishna knows everything. And Krishna is going to protect his devotee no matter what. But when a devotee calls out for Krishna from the bottom of his heart, with cries, with tears in his eyes, that means he has understood Krishna is mine. He has developed that relationship with Krishna. And this is what Krishna wants. The relationship, our full surrender and our taking shelter of Krishna's lotus. Not just impersonal way of doing devotion service. He will still protect. Like Draupadi, when she was being disrobed, she cried out. First she looked at everybody, Pandavas, Bhishma, Dronacharya, everybody was there. Nobody got up. Then he tried to hold on to her sari, thinking Dushasana will let her go. He didn't, and he kept on pulling. She cried out for Krishna. Krishna still didn't come. And when she let go of both her hands, no more thinking that she can be protected on her own. Immediately, without even a second's delay, Krishna appeared. And the wonderful incarnation of Sadi That is, only he can do that. And he is unlimited. Dushasan kept on pulling that unlimited incarnation of Sadi, but he was no match to Krishna's opulence. So this is what Krishna wants, our emotions, our sentiments, everything for Krishna. And Krishna is always there to protect, always. Always there to help. And even if we don't cry out like Draupadi did or other devotees have done, Krishna is still there to protect. But this is what he wants, our full attention, full emotions, full loving sentiments for him only. And when the devotee cries, he is immediately there. He is always there. And this is the beauty of Krishna, his relationship, his protection, his mercy, and beauty of bhakti. So I guess I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ranta. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Really nice class.
Thank you, Mother.
Hare
We are
Thank you,
going through
Mother.
very nice verses actually. Prabhuji, this is Uddhav Gita, right?
This is Uddhav Gita, yes. This whole canto is Uddhav Gita. Actually.
Uddhav Gita, yes. Because the same questions it was asked in Bhagavad Gita, everything is going like that. Jnana Yoga,
Yeah.
Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah. But over there, Krishna didn't have much time, so he didn't go in detail. But here he has lots of time. So he is going in lots of details.
Yes. Deity worship and all, everything, yes.
Yeah. And see, we were talking about your question yesterday, and we said just pray to Prabhupada. And today I got this answer by Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
See, Prabhupada is amazing. So have full faith in him.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank
Okay,
you.
Chalo.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mata. So you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.